All right. Welcome to my talk. It's going to be fast. We're going to talk about SIMD. SIMD is fun. SIMD is fast. SIMD is hard. So thank you for all the people who support me at Fair Systems and to the Rust Foundation and to the rest of the portable SIMD group. So what is SIMD? SIMD means single instruction, multiple data. If you've ever heard of it, people just want to say, oh yeah, it makes your flops run fast when you're doing a lot of number crunching. This is going to be our working horse example. This is like our hello world. You have to get on nightly. You have to slap the featured portable SIMD, import the STD SIMD, and then you're going to import a float or a number type and then a lane count, right? So once you start doing that, what Rust will allow you to do, what portable SIMD is designed to do, is to allow you to just load up those specific numbers into vectors, and then those vector registers, then you'll be able to just use with your normal Rust operators. So you can load them from arrays, you can load them from slices, you can just, a splat will build for a float element version of 10. We're basically trying to become a compiler in a sense, because we are trying to say, uphold the invariance of computer, I want you to use these specific instructions because they're so much faster. So the big takeaway is, for some combination of certain numeric types and a integer counts, we want some very specific things to happen, and we want them to happen very fast. Why is this actually not just already a thing? The answer is stabilizing is hard. Just ask me later about all the kinds of hairy problems we come up with. Just mask register layouts are a thing, and LLVM doesn't mean what we mean when we talk about vectors. It future proofing and whatever we commit to, we're going to be stuck with for years, if not decades. And a lot of stuff has to be figured out for the first time, in a sense. So yeah, be patient with us. Let's be clear about what is not SIMD intrinsics. This is inline assembly, where you just slap the ASM macro in front of your code. That's not what I'm talking about. And also, when you hear people talk about SIMD intrinsics, usually they mean, oh yeah, you're going to declare these specific instructions. So multilinear add, extended precision integer 16 C2, load up those vectors manually, and then do that. This is like how the Intel manual actually defines them. We don't want you to have to go and do that, actually. So what will this feel like? Your Rust performance journey will basically start with, oh, great, the autovec is amazing. The auto vectorizer is amazing. So the auto vectorizer means that when you write your dot product, then it can look at your code and say, oh, this can actually use these like super cool fast instructions under the hood. Let me go ahead and do that for you. It fails frequently. And so that's when you come to the second step and you say, oh, I can just do it myself. And then you hit the hard reality of, wow, this is not fun. This is much harder than I actually asked for, because you're essentially becoming a compiler. If you ever see the auto vectorizer fail, these are some useful flags that LVM, you can pass into LVM and it will spit out, hey, this is where it broke down. You used this branch and I couldn't figure it out. So the approach from like the early 2000s was auto vectorize everything. Now we're on the path of that might be hopeless. It's going to need manual massaging either way. So we might as well learn it. All right, so this is what I mean by this is not likely to auto-vectorize. We have two vectors. We have a mutable sum variable. And then if we just go 0 to 4 and try and add up the product and just print it, something's going to go wrong. And what ends up going wrong is that Rust by default does bounce checking, which is fine for safety, but for performance, it wrecks the analysis of the auto-vectorizer. So learning to work with iterators, not doing bounce checking, and a whole bunch of like establishing the sizes of things that you're iterating on before your code even run, that's very important. Check out the bounce check cookbook. Here's my big plan for how you should actually approach learning SIMD. This is going to be a bit of a hot take, but my first one is kind of give up and go to the people that have actually learned this before, like the people from array-based programming languages like APL, BQN, or Futhark. Then If you actually want to drill down into the assembly basics, that's good. And then lastly, you have some tools to fail fast, iterate, and figure it out. This is a lot. So Rust forbids memory unsafe programs and that will lead you to become better at concurrency. Array languages prevent you from using indexing, and that's going to make you automatically better at data parallel thinking. This is a line of APL. This looks like alien languages, but the upside is that you learn to program with GPUs for free, and you get to look at about 5 decades of these people programming and coming up with all these techniques of what does the world look like if everything is just a flat array that you always have to iterate on, like all of your data once at a time. And this is where techniques where like masking, lookup tables, bit shifting, efficient packing, branchless programming, and prefix sums really come into play. I highly recommend that you check out any of the papers by Daniel Lemire, because they take this data parallel thinking and they can apply it to data task irregular parallel programs. So what do I mean by that, right? So let's say that we had to parse an AST or JSON, one of Daniel Lemire's famous papers. The way that you sort of transform your brain to look at this is to not figure out how you are going to be doing a pre-walk or a post-walk across nodes. You're going to figure out what function can apply to all of these nodes at once so that it's always being applied. This link contains a link to Aaron's PhD thesis where he built a GPU compiler in 17 lines of code. So they've got some really cool thing. This is a paper by the Futhark people, which is incredibly interesting. Futhark is another super parallel language. If you don't think it's relevant, they had to come up with this way of programming because to construct boundary volume hierarchies, which are super, super useful in n-body code. So these restrictions lead to genuine algorithmic speedups. Not only capable for SIMD, but for GPUs. For tooling, let me show you something that you should really invest in. Learning a debugger. This is the same Hello World example, right? And then when I step over my code, these mask registers actually get highlighted. This is the part about learning your tools and iterating and failing fast. You can see how and where those values change. Invest in learning a debugger because it's very much going to pay off. If you want to actually look at how much these instructions matter, use tools like LLVM MCA, Machine Code Analyzer, or micro ops tables by Agner Fogg or other people so that you can actually see what those architectural differences are. Incidental to your problem. Sometimes you have to massage the flags that you're compiling. You have to figure out the arch differences. You have to think about byte endiness sometimes. Anything after AVX 512DQ is going to be good. And
sorry, Miguel, just a heads up on time. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And basically, the biggest takeaway from modern SIMD instructions or AVX 512 is that there's a lot of bottlenecks of 3 or 4 instructions that can be reduced to 1 or 2. So keeping up with all of the new features that take away the pain points is really, really important, even if you don't use those wider lanes. So
I'm very sorry, but you have to try to get to a summary.
All right, this is the end. Avoid horizontal ops in your hot loop. Try and exploit reduction vectors. And lastly, you don't forget to use multiply adds. Those are my big tricks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Wait, let's see. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. I think we have time for maybe one quick question. We have a few here. Maybe you can try to answer those in chat. Let's try with the first one here. There's a question. Is there a way to check what the ASM actually looks like with a release build? I've recently found that Godbolt and Cargo ASM produces different results.
Yes, there's a Cargo LVM show ASM crate that should be a bit better than just the one they mentioned. Next one. Would using an iterator with zip solve the problem in the example with sum? It depends on how you use the zip iterator. So the last few examples go into ways in which you can exploit some SIMD, but not all of it. So you can have SIMD where you do a horizontal sum reduction on every step of the for loop, and that's going to just trash your performance. Do you have any suggestions for good ways to test that auto vectorization will happen as we want it to across different processors, OS compilers, or any good research on what things to do or to avoid to achieve automatic SIMD? I try to mention those flags, but not at the moment. No, definitely come and ask us in the Zulip for portable SIMD.
All right.
Would appreciate a link to those papers mentioned by Daniel Lemire. Just all of them, all the Daniel Lemire papers. Thanks.